Thank you so much for your patience, everyone. So good morning, respected guests, esteemed speakers, dedicated delegates, and friends. As we gather for the CSR Universe Climate Action and Sustainability Conference and Awards 2025, I, Ruchika Kumar, the editor at the CSR Universe, extend a heartfelt welcome to all of you. It is both an honor and a responsibility to open this important gathering, a space where ideas, experience, and purpose converge at a time when our planet needs it the most. I mean, look around you. Look at the faces of hope, determination, and perhaps a touch of anxiety. Because let's be honest, we stand not just at a juncture, but a precipice. The climate crisis is no longer a whisper in the wind. It's a roar in our ears. It's the parched earth cracking under the relentless sun. The rising tides swallowing coastal communities, the fury of storms that leave devastation in their wake. So we find ourselves at a crucial juncture. The climate crisis is no longer a distant reality. It's no longer an impending doom. It is our stark present reality. From intensifying geohazards in the Himalayas to rising food insecurity and mounting waste, we are witnessing the consequence of environmental disaster, stress across every corner of our society. But more than an ecological crisis, this is also a human crisis. It affects how we breathe, how we live, and who gets left behind. And this is why we are here. Over the next 2 days, we will explore the many dimensions of this shared challenge, understanding that no issue exists in silos in isolation. Sustainable farming, waste management, biodiversity protection, community-driven climate action, each of these themes is woven into the fabric of a just and resilient future. And today we begin with a series of thought-provoking addresses from Dr. Aishwarya Mahajan on redefining success in sustainability to Colonel Akash Patil, who will help us connect Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's vision with today's climate goals. We will also hear from Dr. Kalachand Sen, who brings to light the increasing climate-induced geohazards in our Himalayan ecosystems, and Mr. Mayank Gandhi, who will speak on transforming India through large-scale sustainable agriculture. And following this, our panel discussions will set the tone for rich and robust engagement. We'll explore how regenerative agriculture can secure both climate resilience and food systems, and how waste can be reimagined as a wealth in a circular economy, and how community-led models can drive global impact from the grassroots up. We'll also examine the evolving landscape of sustainable mobility and ESG strategies beyond compliance. And in the afternoon, we'll hear powerful reflections from youth leaders in our Yuva Samvad session, because the voices shaping our future must be a part of designing it. Now, let me take a moment to express our sincere gratitude to our event partners, our lead partner, M3M Foundation, our knowledge partners, Samyukti ICARS IIT Roorkee, our award partner, NTPC, YBRANT, United Way Bangalore, Gram Vikas, Swan, Orasure, and JRDS. Their invaluable support and shared vision have played a key role in bringing this meaningful platform to life. But let's not forget the heart of this matter. Beyond the data and the debates, this is about the very essence of our shared humanity. It's about the farmer watching his fields turn to dust, the families displaced by rising waters, the countless species facing extinction. It's about the fundamental question of what kind of world we want to leave for those who come after us. Do we choose apathy, or do we rise with purpose? This conference is not just about dialogue, it is a call to action. If we are to make real progress, we must move from intent to impact, from planning to implementation. We must foster solutions that are not only innovative and scalable, but also inclusive and just. And it demands that we move beyond our comfort zones, challenge the status quo, and embrace bold, transformative change. As we begin this journey together, my hope is that these days will leave us not only more informed, but also more inspired to act, to collaborate, and to lead with purpose. Let us find strength in our shared responsibility and commit to building a future where both people and the planet can thrive in harmony. So thank you everyone once again for being here. We will start the vital conversations right after the lamp lighting, and I would request Dr. Aishwarya Mahajan, Colonel Akash Patil, and Dr. Kalachand Sen to please do the honors, and also our founder, Ashish Jha, and our chief consulting editor, Dr. Shweta Singh, to please join them. Thank you so much. Now I'd like to invite upon the stage our Chief Consulting Editor, Dr. Shweta Singh, to take the conversations forward. Dr. Shweta Singh, the stage is all yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ruchika, for the wonderful beginning. I'd now like to invite Dr. Aishwarya Mahajan, the Managing Trustee and President of M3M Foundation, to give the inaugural address. Dr. Mahajan has led impactful social initiatives in education, health, and sustainable development across India. He has 20 years of social experience, and he has transformed millions of lives across the country. So, sir, please come for your address.
So good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to congratulate Ashish and the CSRUniverse for taking the discussion forward, which we had last time in SAICA, when we had discussed that, okay, this is some kind of work which we need to take forward. And CASCA is the outcome of that. So welcome to all the remarkable individuals, change makers, thought leaders, innovators, policy influencers, and climate warriors. So I welcome you all to this first edition of CASCA 2025. It is with great enthusiasm and humility that I welcome you all at CASCA 2025, the Climate Action and Sustainability Conference and Awards. This gathering today is not just a conference. It is the manifestation of a dream that began with a conversation. A simple idea shared over a call with Ashish, the passionate mind behind the CSRUniverse, about the need for a dedicated platform that doesn't just talk about climate action, but defines its impact, celebrates its success, and most importantly, sets a direction. His promptness, clarity of thought, and unwavering commitment transformed this idea into what we see today. This two-day celebration of collective vision, depth of expertise, and stories of transformation, which we are going to witness today and tomorrow. Our central question this year is, what does success mean for sustainability interventions? It is a call to introspect and realign, because today, more than ever, sustainability can no longer be judged by the size of budgets or the number of programs, but it should be defined by how many lives we are going to touch, ecosystems which we are going to restore, and the systems we are going to redesign to be inclusive, circular, and climate resilient. And this is where CASCA becomes very special. It is India's answer to the global call, especially in a time when global solidarity is fractured. A movement we all witnessed when a major power withdrew from the Paris Agreement, shaking the very foundation of global climate consensus. But where some stepped back, we stepped forward. We believe that CASCA has the potential to be more than a national platform. It can evolve into a South-led, impact-driven sustainability movement that inspires, leads, and influences the global climate narrative. And that journey begins here with all of us today. The agenda over these 2 days is powerful and pointed. From climate-induced geohazards in the Himalayas to regenerative agriculture, as Ruchika mentioned, waste circularity, youth voices, climate finance, and the need for ESG beyond compliance. All these sessions has been curated not just for conversation, but for conversion of intent into action. Our speakers, and thanks again to the team who have got the remarkable speakers who have done a wonderful work in their areas. They have drawn from the corridors of policy, boardrooms of industry, labs of innovation, and fields of grassroots action. Reflects the diversity and depth we so urgently need. I sincerely thank every speaker and panelist who has chosen to share their insight and inspire a better tomorrow. A very special word of appreciation goes to the eminent jury of CASCA Awards. The depth of deliberation, the rigor in evaluation, and the spirit of acknowledgement you have brought to the process is commendable. Having personally reviewed some of the nominations, I was deeply moved by the incredible work being done. Silent yet significant stories of sustainability across the country. Special mention and thanks to all our partners who believe and supported this wind of beneath that this platforms is going to change the direction of climate action in India. Thank you for being part of this shared vision. At M3M Foundation, our work across climate, biodiversity, and community development is rooted in one belief, that real sustainability is only possible when it is local, inclusive, and impact measurable. CASCA reflects this same ethos, and we are proud to be its co-architect. As we begin this important journey together, let us remember the future of sustainability will not be dictated by those with the loudest voices, but by those with the deepest commitments. CASCA is the testament to the commitment. Let us build, let us collaborate, and let us lead for India and for the world. And again, before I conclude, I would again welcome all of you to this first edition of CASCA, and I congratulate all the team members from M3M Foundation and the CSRUniverse for not only thinking, conceptualizing, but making this dream a reality today. And I am looking forward for these deliberations and discussions for next 2 days. Thank you very much.
Dr. Mahajan, please stay on stage. Please be seated. I'd also like to invite Colonel Patil and Dr. Sen on stage. Please join us on stage. Dr. Sen, please, Dr. Kalachand Sen, please join us on stage. We have your addresses after this. Thank you, Dr. Mahajan, for so beautifully capturing the intent and essence of this event. We had conceptualized this event as the answer of India, like you said, to the global problem, which is intensifying. Let's hope that this is a movement driven by the global South, as Sir said. I'd now like to invite Colonel Akash Patil. He's the director of this venue, Dr. Ambedkar International Center. He is an army veteran, and he has been managing this center for a long time, and he deeply believes in the ethos of Dr. Ambedkar. He would be talking about the same and explaining them to us. So please join us and give your address.
One small correction, I am not a veteran, I am still serving. Okay, I hope you all would appreciate this venue. This is a convention center. I was telling Mahajan sir also before this. Dr. Ambedkar International Center, the foundation stone was laid in 2015 by Honorable Prime Minister, and 2017 this complete infrastructure was ready. This is not only a convention center. As you would see, we have got auditoriums, conference halls for workshops, seminars, for specifically these type of functions. But we are supposed to be a center of excellence in two verticals: socio-economic transformation studies and Buddhist studies. With this as ideas, when I met Shri Ashish Jha and he explained to me about the function, I said, why not? This aligns with our goal also. When we talk about socio-economic transformation studies, I've got 15 minutes, isn't it? When it is socio-economic transformation studies, everything comes into it. The sustainable development goals, that is also in our charter, sir. Livelihood, database management. This is a place for the ministries, and to cut it short, this is supposed to work like a think tank at some level, where ministries they come, they hold. You would also see we give the facility to not only government, but private and PSUs organizations also. So that was about DAIC as such. If you are not happy with the facility, you must come back to us, or me rather, instead of Ashish. I am open to feedback so that we can also improve upon it. Now the topic which has been given to me today, when we were discussing, was Dr. Ambedkar's thought on sustainability and climate change, how it is aligned with today's world. The editor, she very aptly, summarized the whole issue. Mahajan sir also said in his address that great powers are, withdrawing from accords. Where are we as on date? And how Dr. Ambedkar, was this terminology there during that time? So when we were discussing in my office, he said, why don't you come and speak on this subject? I said, yes, let me talk. And the start point of it, you would like to close the door behind? Yeah. The start point of our conversation was, we all see Dr. Ambedkar as a social reformer. We all know, everybody knows, we all talk about it. But apart from being only a social reformer, a multifaceted personality like Dr. Ambedkar, he was responsible for setting up Reserve Bank of India. He was responsible for Central Water Commission. And when we were discussing this, he said, we are not aware of all these things. So if you follow his addresses and if you follow his writings and speeches, we will come to know that the Central Water Commission, which was formed, Dr. Ambedkar, he gave the views during that time that the usage of waterways should be made not only for irrigation, but for many other purposes, like transportation, flood water management, and that is how he came up with the idea. We all know he did his PhD in economics. When Hilton Young Commission came to India, he gave the recommendation that there should be a central bank for India. And that is how RBI was set up. So he had enormous contributions in the nation as such, as making of the nation. And when we say that, when we want to understand his life and work, that is the thing where you all, I would request you to visit Dr. Ambedkar National Memorial also. Because all we know about him is he was the voice for marginalized communities. Yes, he was. But we have to understand his larger contribution also. Okay, now coming back to climate change. How was Dr. Ambedkar, this terminology was not there. Sustainable Development Goals. But if you see these 17 Sustainable Development Goals, so-called 1980s, when this Brundtland Commission, they came out with these ideas, these are not anything new. In fact, if we see our old Sanskriti, we are all talking about this. Poverty elevation, education, clean, decent job, opportunities, growth for all. These are very, very basic. So why does an organization at United Nations, they have to come, think, and then they have to come out with some kind of goals? Yes, there would have been need in 1980s because the development was skewed. Now, you see the impact of environment or climate, if we may say that, is equally for everyone. I am not contributing in the pollution as someone who is riding in a SUV also. He is doing. But I am facing the brunt of the scorching heat, isn't it? So someone would have thought, we also have research associates here. Sir. So we also thought, let us find out what Dr. Ambedkar said about all these things. No, it was a big task. We have 17 volumes, 20 odd books. We tried to find out. First, we studied about the Brundtland Commission. Now, she was the Prime Minister of Norway, under whom this commission was made, and they made these 17 goals. The interesting point is, who was the representative of India in this commission? He was Dr. Nagendra Singh. Now, Dr. Nagendra Singh was the Chief Justice at the International Court at Hague during those times. And when we study for Dr. Nagendra Singh, he was also the member of Constituent Assembly of India, of which Dr. Ambedkar was the chairman. Somewhere some link was, we felt motivated. Yes, there would have been some letters, some correspondences between Dr. Ambedkar and Nagendra Singh that time. He was part of the Brundtland Commission. Brundtland Commission gave us SDG, and SDG gave us CASCA today. One of the things. So that is how we tried to figure it out. That is there any correct? Yes, no. Then we studied about the SDGs. What are they? So when we talk about Dr. Ambedkar, his philosophy, we all know, we have seen the preamble. It is all in the schools. It is all in the offices. It is all on the websites. When we come to DIC, I am very sure you would see the preamble. 3 words are very important. Justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. 4, in fact. So his idea, his life, his philosophy worked everything on liberty, equality, fraternity. And he always said that one cannot replace others. You cannot have equality without liberty. You cannot have full liberty, so no equality. That was his life. And when we study the SDGs, the foundational framework of all the SDG, it aligns with the climate goals and so-called sustainability. This sustainability thing, when you read the document, it also says that no community shall be left behind. What did Dr. Ambedkar say? That everything should be inclusive. So there the frequency matches, and then we come to know that the terminology would have differed, but the ideas which our nation builder had during that time, it is all the same. He also pitched for water as a public good. We all know about Dandi March and Dandi Satyagraha, Salt Satyagraha. That is all is taught in the schools. But equally important was Water Satyagraha, which Dr. Ambedkar did in Mahad, when he said that everybody, all humans, they have equal right over water. There should not be any discrimination. That was a big defining moment in the Indian history. When Dr. Ambedkar went to Mahad and he symbolically took the water from the tank, which is known as Chaudhar tank, that is a Marathi word. So these are the things. Now, when he pitches that all the resources should be equally distributed, everybody has equal right on them, he also pitched for the water commission, which we are all facing the issues today. States are quarreling among themselves. Even the countries are quarreling. So somewhere that vision was there that yes, we need to have some kind of mechanism. In fact, in the draft which he gave, sir, he said there should be 7 directors under the water commission, one for navigation, one for waterways, inland waterways, and all that. So that was the vision, which aligns with SDG. Now this climate change we are all talking about, sir mentioned, I am in army, still not veteran, as what she said. So when I was posted in Glacier, you know, it is very, I was of the impression that 2 degree to बढ़ रहा है temperature, क्या ही फर्क पड़ता है, why this हल्ला उल्ला? But when you see the chunks of ice which is melting and which is going in the rivers there, then you understand the gravity of the situation. कि हो क्या रहा है? मतलब the complete glacier when it moves, that is the sight to see. Then you realize कि ये पहले, and the locals then they say कि no sir, this was not the thing initially. Turtuk ke niche when we were there. So they used to say, of course, till some point there are villages. Then they used to say, initially this was not there. यहाँ तक होता था ठंडा, and मतलब we have never seen this thing. So then one gets the perception. Army gives you a lot of opportunity to see climate change in the real sense. East, west, north, south, har jagah you come to know. So that is a real change. 2 degrees, when I then studied on this subject, if our body temperature increases 2 degrees, and it remains like that for 1 or 2 months, then we all know what is the consequence of it. Same is about the earth, that is what I believe. Same is about the oceans. So these type of events, they do fit in to increase the awareness. We have very enlightened gathering here, speakers are there. The context has been set. My job here was to just tell you about DAIC in short, what we are doing. Connect Dr. Ambedkar's vision, which I said that the terminologies would not have been there, but the intent was there, and the vision was there for the development. SDG 8 for decent work and economic growth. Dr. Ambedkar, he gave us the labor policies when he was on the Viceroy's commission for the labor policies. He said that 8 घंटे का काम होना चाहिए. There should be factory regulations. There should be insurance. So what is this? He was he was giving ideas so that the entire community, the labor, you cannot have, you know, capitalist growth everywhere and labor without dignity. That also he mentioned. You cannot have just making profits on the cost of labor. This is all coming out of his writings, which can be, you know, correlated with the SDG so-called, whatever 17 goals we have. So we can connect anything. In fact, all the 17 goals, they have somewhere some mention. I'm not trying to say that the ideas came from us, but yes, they are streamlined by United Nations. We are following them. We are working very hard. But at the same time, we must not forget our roots. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Colonel Patil, and sorry for my mistake. Anyway, and now we have Dr. Kalachan Sen. He's the advisor at the DST Center of Excellence for Climate Information at IIT Delhi. And he is also one of our esteemed jury members who have helped us to evaluate the nomination. So thank you so much, sir, for your guidance and mentorship. So I now invite you to give your address, sir. Please.
Is it there? Presentation is there? A very good morning. First of all, I thank Ashish, Ruchika, and Shweta for the invitation to this very pertinent and timely program, the CSRUniverse, Climate Action and Sustainability. Today's chief guest, Patraji, Mahajanji, Patilji, guest of honor, all the delegates. It gives me immense pleasure to share some of my thoughts, views, what we have been experiencing under the influence of the climate change. So presentation, can you make it? Or I can give. Anyway, if it is not possible, I'll just go ahead with the extempore because shortage of time. And okay, so ma'am, why this climate change topic is important? In every forum, any scientific forum, technological forum I have been attending, and we are addressing severe issues, is coming up. It has been talked about our both honorable chief guest as well as guest of honor. But still, I would like to add some more before that presentation comes on the screen. That we have been experiencing heavy rainfall under the influence of the climate change that are leading to landslides in the hilly towns, leading to flash floods in the plains. We have been experiencing heavy snow precipitation that are leading to snow avalanches, glacier avalanches. Because of the increase in temperature we have been experiencing, glaciers are melting, glacial lakes are being formed, being expanded into the upper reach. And we have experienced that there is tremendous impact of the climate change, whether we talk about food and agriculture, whether we talk about health, whether we talk about water security, whether we talk about energy security, biodiversity, ecosystem, land degradation, everywhere it is making an impact, and that being caused by us. We are the responsible for that climate change. So if we can understand several processes that are leading to climate change or temperature rise, and if we can control how we'll be able to make the temperature rise further 1.5 degree to 2 degrees Celsius. Just now, Patilji has very rightly pointed out that 1.5 degrees Celsius, 2 degrees Celsius increase can cause havoc to our health, to the glaciers. That, okay, that slide has come. I have pointer, or you can go to the next slide. Yeah. I have just divided my talk into 5 topics, cover into that. Next one, go to the next one. The first one, that Himalaya I have chosen. Because in the present climate change scenario, if we look into aspects, then seriously we have to think 3 or 4 issues. One is that can we leave the Himalayan region? I have chosen the Himalayan region. There are 11 states, 2 union territories, and these states are being affected tremendously by the impact of the climate change. Because of that, disasters, people should leave Himalaya or stay there. So we have to have a responsibility how we can make a climate adaptable, disaster resilient society. So there is a science component, technological component, involvement of the policy makers, involvement of the decision makers, environmentalists, as well as politicians. All have to come at one platform to take a decision. How will we be able to make a disaster resilient and climate adaptable society? Number one. Even if you flee from the Himalayan region, wherever you will go under the influence of the climate change, the coastal region, they are being affected by the tsunami, cyclones, coastal erosions. Even if you live into the plain, we have floods, we have droughts. And in the Himalayan region, different kinds of disasters, starting from earthquakes to landslides to flash floods to glacial lake outburst flood to glacial avalanches, snow avalanches, all sort of things. So now, through this CSR, we should prepare this strategy, how we'll be able to build that climate adaptable and disaster resilient society. Number one, how we can convince people that we have to live with the disaster. We cannot flee from the disasters because it's a natural phenomena. Wherever you will go, you will have that. So we have to learn how to live with the disasters. This is the second important point. And third important point, that scientifically, technologically, innovation point of view, how you can build an interface that can be linked to the society. And that that research outcome, that scientific outcome can be translated to need to meet the requirement of the people living into the different parts of the country. But specifically, I am looking into the Himalayan states because there are 11 states, 2 union territories, and there are tremendous challenges. Government of India, Prime Minister, everybody is taking a lot of interest. How will we be able to safeguard the people, property, as well as different kinds of infrastructure? So go to the next slide. If we have the Himalaya, then Himalaya has plethora of resources. Next slide. Plethora of resources. So if we talk about two important things, that it's minerals, its ore bodies, and that Himalayan glaciers and Himalayan snowfields, mighty rivers, they are the lifeline to the several hundred millions of people for the irrigation, drinking water, domestic usage, industrial usage, hydroelectric power generation. So there are different kinds of resources available that can be utilized for the socio-economic growth, that can be utilized for the strategic development, agroeconomic development. This is one aspect. But other aspect we have talked about, that under the influence of the climate change, we are having a lot of challenges, disasters. So how will we be able to make a balance between the exploitation of the resources for our socio-economic growth as well as preservation and conservation of the Himalayan ecosystem and ecology? There are tremendous scientific, technological advancement required. People have been working, and the CSR are a very, very important player to come up and contribute into that direction. Different institutes we can identify, we can do that way. So 3 important things what we're talking about: how we will be able to build the climate adaptable, disaster resilient society. We can build through this. We cannot live from those places. We have to learn how to live with those disasters. And third, very, very important, that how scientifically, technologically, innovation point of view will be able to link ourselves with the society so that societal challenges can be met. So these 3 important aspects I'll cover into that aspect. Next slide. So we have talked about that under the influence of the climate change, and we are talking about climate change. But what is climate change? You can see that climate change is nothing but a long-term shift in temperature and weather pattern. And that indicators into the Himalayan perspective are visible. What are the indicators of the climate change? We talk about climate change. What are the indicators of the climate change? We are seeing that glacier lakes are being formed, being expanded, glaciers are melting, tree line and slow line and shifting upward, sea level is rising. And because of the sea level rising, it has been pointed out that many coastal cities throughout the world under threat. If sea level rise at that rate, at this moment, 4 millimeter per year, if it rises further and temperature increases beyond 1.52 degrees Celsius, then there will be devastations. Many of the important cities of the global will be submerged, and that will cause devastation. So we are much concerned about the impact of the climate change. So root cause of the climate change is very, very important, and we have to address the root cause. And if we find out the root cause, then you'll find out that it is we human being, anthropogenically, we are making that impact because of that. So we have to address those issues very critically, then only we'll be able to make that. So we have seen that impact of the climate change to the water scarcity, energy, food, health sector, climate variability, and seasonal changes, weather pattern, disruption to the ecosystem, biodiversity, land degradation. They are leading to different kinds of disasters with variable magnitudes. We have talked about all these things. Next slide, please. So, next slide, please. Not moving? Okay, so yeah. Next, go to the glacier and glacier hazards. This is very, very important aspect because they are the lifeline. I have already spoken about that, what contribution they are making to our irrigation, to our drinking water, to hydroelectric power generations, to domestic usage, industrial usage. So in that, next slide, please. So we are talking about glaciers and glacial lakes. But what is a glacier? Just for the definition, glacier is nothing but compacted snow that have been accumulated into the upper reach or high altitude. And glacial lake, any water body that has been formed by the glacial activity is called water body, that glacial lake. These glacial lake and glaciers in the high altitude Himalaya are posing threat to the downstream. People are having their habitation, agriculture, they are having infrastructure, we are having hydroelectric power generation. So if we do not maintain the health of the glaciers and glacial lakes into the upper reach, we are definitely going to have some threat to the downstream structures, infrastructure, or habitation, or any other things. That's exactly what's happening into these regions. Next slide. Mostly, we are trying to understand the health of the glacier and glacial lake by looking into the hydrological data, meteorological data. And if we look into meteorological data, it gives the information about the temperature rise, about the wind speed, wind direction, humidity, etc., etc. If we look into the hydrological data, it will give the important information about the glacier recession, melting, as well as sediment and water discharge from that glaciers. Out of these two informations, in 2021, we have experienced that huge volume of ice and rock mass, they got detached from 5,600 meter and then fell down at a Gronthigard glacier floor. And then in the peak winter, because the impact was so huge, it got fragmented even in peak winter, 7th February 2021. And that created a lot of slurry material. And that from the high altitude and in the slope region, when it started moving down, it picked up other water pockets, loose debris materials, small plants, the volume or mass increased. And because of the volume and mass increased and slope regions coming at a heavy speed, velocity also increased, and as a whole the momentum increased. The momentum was so huge on its way, whatever it found, roads, bridges, it destroyed, disconnected villages, it destroyed the Tapovan and Reni village hydroelectric power projects. So you can understand the tremendous power is coming because of the momentum, huge momentum of the ice and rock mass, debris flow. And the flow when it goes through the river system, there are a lot of hydroelectric power projects, reservoirs. The reservoirs get silted, and that water body, it's colluded the turbine of the power generation. So it makes a tremendous impact in different aspects. I'm not touching each and every aspect, but as a whole we can understand, it appears that climate change temperature is rising by 1.5, but its impact, if you look into what I just described, is a phenomenal, huge. So we need to understand all the processes very critically. We need to understand what impact is making by the climate change, what impact it is making by the anthropogenic load by the people making the different kinds of structures, different buildings, heavy material, constructions material. What are the load-bearing capacity into the slope region? Are we exceeding the load-bearing capacity? That is making an impact. Or we need to understand that Himalaya, is there any natural processes, earthquake, etc. taking place. So all this cumulative way we have to look into, because each and every has some cascading impact and cascading effect. So as a whole, Patil Saab has pointed out 1.5 degree, 2 degree, it looks, what is there, 1.5 degree? But if we look at its impact, it is tremendous. That's what we need to sensitize the people, those who are living into this region, that what we are doing. Are we doing anything that is going against the Himalayan ecosystem, Himalayan biodiversity, or natural process, whatever is been existing? We need to understand that. I'll give you an example of natural the human activity or anthropogenic impact into the 2023. All of you have Joshimath, what exactly happened. There have been development of the cracks. There have been subsidence of the Joshimath town. And that has been because of these anthropogenic activities. Because we didn't have proper system of the drainage. So people are utilizing the toilet water, their household kitchen water, simply throwing, and that was percolating through the subsurface. And where it was percolating to the subsurface was getting accumulated. Snow melt, water was also getting percolated, and that water suddenly came out. And once in the slopey region, from the subsurface, that water comes out at a rate of 570 liter per minute, then there is a subsidence. And in the slope region, the subsidence didn't take place uniformly. There have been differential movement, and that developed crack. So we need to understand what is our role, human role, anthropogenic role, what are the natural processes role, what are the climate change making. All these things in comprehensive way, if we can understand, definitely we'll be able to understand the processes and lead to what question I raised, that climate adaptable and disaster resilient society will be able to build that. Next slide, please. You can stop me in any point, otherwise when my time is over. Next slide, please. Okay, so what are the solutions we have given into that region? What I told, that from the hydrological data, from the meteorological data, we understand that the process is going on about the health of the glacier and glacial lake. But most importantly, what we found out uniquely, first of its kind, there is a seismological stations to understand the seismicity into the Himalayan region. And when we did postmortem one of the nearby Tapovan seismological data sets, we found out before that avalanche, glacial avalanche took place, there are 3.5 hours, there are some precursory events. And that precursory signals, before that event didn't take place immediately. There are 3-hour time. There are 3.5-hour times, not like earthquake. Earthquake doesn't give much time, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 40 seconds time. We have to do with everything within that. But in the case of glacial avalanche, we have 3 hours time, we have 2.5 hours time, depending on the geological catchment, depending on the glaciarized basin. We have different time for precursory events. They give signal. They indicate you something is going to happen. So you have sufficient time. So you have a network of the seismological stations, hydrological stations, as well as meteorological stations. You will be able to build early warning of the glacial hazards by transferring the data from the field to the lab, integrating the data sets using artificial intelligence and machine learning, because you have to monitor the data continually. You cannot do, human analysts cannot do the job 24/7, what exactly happening. So for that, you have to train machine, and machine learning can do that job. It will get the data from the field, it will analyze automatically, and once it will find out exceeding the threshold, it will alert. So we'll be able to safeguard the people from the disasters. This is one way we have developed when I was at Wadi Institute of Himalayan Geology. Next slide. This is very important, that what we experience into the Kedarnath glacial lake outburst flood, because there was a Chorabari lake into the outer reach, and there was glacial meltwater getting accumulated. There was some snow melt getting accumulated. There are some sort of avalanches. There are some sort of landslides. And the lake has a finite capacity of water accumulation. And that when exceeds, that come down. And again, I am talking about the slope region. There will be, slope means that water will tend to come down heavily. And once it comes down, it pick up material, it mass increases, velocity increases, and it causes devastation. And you know, in Kedarnath glacial lake outburst plot, what exactly happened? It inundated 5,500 villages, killed 6,000 people, and the peak summer, it trapped 2 lakhs pilgrims. They used to go to the Kedarnath in their good faith of the religion point of view. So we need to understand all these processes. Then only will be able to have a disaster resilient and climate adaptable future. There is a paucity of time. Last point I'd like to touch upon, that we have found out the main culprit of the climate change or temperature rising is the burning of the fossil fuels, and which meet the energy requirement of the whole world. 80% of the world energy requirement is made by fossil fuel. Now you can think of why do we bothered about that? Because energy is the prime driver of any country's socio-economic growth. Without energy, we cannot think of it, we cannot see each other, you cannot listen to me, you cannot go transport, everything. So energy is must, and so far we have not been able to make any renaissance or breakthrough into the renewable energy and green energy. Till date, the fossil fuels still used. So we have to make a transformation from the utilization of the fossil fuels to the less polluted or less carbon related energy, or green energy like geothermal or solar or wind, so that that temperature will not be rise. Because we have to catch that point what Patilji has pointed out, that 1.5 degree, 2 degree, it appears small, but it has a lot of implications. So we have to find out how we'll be able to tame. 197 countries in UN have decided that they will not allow to rise the temperature beyond 1.5. But what are the procedure? Procedure is like that we have to make a breakthrough into the green energy and renewable energy. What I given an example, hydrogen, hydro, there are many forms, geothermal, etc. Second, there cannot be make a breakthrough directly. There should be a residual transition. So fossil fuel to be utilized, mixed with the solar, mixed with other things, we have to make some sort of hybrid energy. And that hybrid energy can again give the less pollution to the atmosphere and less carbon to the atmosphere, environment safe and less pollution. And the third important thing is that if we are not able to make any breakthrough into the fossil fuel, definitely we have to find out an efficient way of capturing the carbon from the static sources and dynamic sources, then utilize that carbon into the carbon dioxide and into the carbonate that can be utilized for drugs, for many other purposes, or maybe methanol or carbon sequestration, or maybe methane substitution. Various processes we can do utilizing the carbon capture, utilization and sequestration experiment. So with this, I once again thank you very much for giving me the opportunity and wish all success. And I'm sure that you will be going home with rich knowledge of different aspects of the climate change, as well as this will give you a scope and opportunity to understand what are the things we can do as a scientist, we can do as a policymaker, you can do as a environmentalist or as a social scientist, as a politician. Everybody has their role, and I think this forum is very, very important to understand all these aspects, how you'll be able to make, again, the disaster resilient and climate adaptable society for the future generation, not only for us, because we have seen the impact of the climate change so huge. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sen. Thank you for that comprehensive address. We also have Mr. Mayank Gandhi with us. He has joined us. Sir, I would request you to please come on stage. He's a renowned social activist, and he was one of the leading voices in the India Against Corruption movement. And at the moment, he leads Global Vikas Trust, which works extensively on scaling sustainable agriculture in India. So, sir, please come for your address.
Namaste. Zero energy in the room, huh? नमस्ते. मैं अंग्रेजी में नहीं बोलूँगा, हिंदी में बोलने की कोशिश करूँगा. मैं एक इंटरनेशनल अर्बन प्लानर था. 23 देशों में काम करता था, और वहाँ के कॉमन आदमी की लाइफ देख के मुझे लगा ये हमारे देश में ये कैसे डिग्निटी से कॉमन आदमी जी सकता है. मैं आम आदमी नहीं बोलूँगा, कॉमन आदमी बोलूँगा, फॉर ऑब्वियस रीजंस. तो मुझे भी लगा कि मुझे अपनी लाइफ को इंडिया के कॉमन आदमी की जीवन कैसे डिग्निटी से जी सकें उसके लिए स्पेंड करना चाहिए, और देश को ट्रांसफॉर्म करने की इच्छा लेके मैं इंडिया वापस आया. और थोड़ा नाइव था, तो मुझे ये लगा एक डेमोक्रेसी है, तो इसके अंदर अगर हम पॉलिसीज़ को प्रो पीपल पॉलिसी कर दें तो ये देश बदल जाएगा. तो अन्ना जी के साथ मिलके राइट टू इन्फॉर्मेशन और बहुत सारे कानून बनाए, डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन ऑफ पावर इन अर्बन एरियाज़ वगैरह वगैरह. लेकिन ये सब तो बन गए शायद इस देश में इंडिपेंडेंस के बाद के वन ऑफ द इम्पॉर्टेंट रिफॉर्म्स. लेकिन ये समझ में आ गया कि पॉलिसी अपनी लाला लैंड में है और गरीबों की ज़िंदगी अपनी जगह पे है, इनका कोई लेना देना नहीं है. फिर मैं सोचा, फिर गरीब की आदमी को कौन टच करता है? तो सरकार टच करती है. सरकार ठीक चल नहीं रही है, चलो उसको धक्का मार के उसको ठीक चलाएं. तो फिर मैंने, अन्ना जी ने, केजरीवाल ने, सब ने मिलकर इंडिया अगेंस्ट करप्शन मूवमेंट शुरू किया. तो अन्ना जी, केजरीवाल जी दिल्ली और एनसीआर देख रहे थे, पर बाकी का देश में देख रहा था, और एक बहुत बड़ा मूवमेंट हुआ, आप सब जानते ही हैं. लेकिन लास्ट में वो पॉलिटिशियन हमको बेवकूफ़ बना के गए, ऐसा 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 हाथ करके. तो फिर सोचा यार, देश पॉलिटिशियन का थोड़ी है, देश तो हमारा भी है. अगर वो सिस्टम में रह के कुछ नहीं बदल सकते हैं तो हम सिस्टम में जाते हैं. और फिर हमने एक पॉलिटिकल पार्टी बनाई, आम आदमी पार्टी. आप सब तो दिल्ली के हैं, आपको सारी स्टोरी पता है. और 2015 में 67 सीट्स जीते. ऐसा लगने लगा था ये देश शायद बदल जाएगा, लेकिन देश बदलने के बदले में अरविंद केजरीवाल बदल गया. तो सत्ता की दौड़ में पावर ओवर प्रिंसिपल, सत्ता ओवर सिद्धांत, और उन्होंने कुछ ऐसे ऐसे डिसीजंस लिए जो मुझे लगा कि ठीक नहीं है. और ख़ुद सोचा तो ये लगा कि ये पॉलिटिक्स के लायक मैं हूँ नहीं। पॉलिटिक्स के अंदर कुछ ऑपरेटिंग पैटर्न्स होते हैं, ऑपरेटिंग स्टाइल्स होती है। सिर्फ ये पार्टी नहीं, पूरा पॉलिटिकल सिस्टम 99.9% हम अपने अंदर अंदर ही लड़ते रहते हैं, बाहर वाले से तो लड़ने का टाइम भी नहीं मिलता है। रोज़ सुबह उठ के ये बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेटेड इश्यू है और मुझे लगा मैं उसके लायक नहीं हूँ। ओशो कहते थे कि जीवन के अंदर पॉवर्टी भी है और प्रॉस्पेरिटी भी है, तुम्हें चूज़ करना है तुम कैसा ज़िंदगी जीना चाहते हो। और मुझे लग रहा था कि पॉलिटिक्स ये एक एक्सट्रीम पॉवर्टी है। आई कुड नॉट कंटिन्यू लिविंग लाइफ लाइक दिस, रोज़ सुबह उठ के। तो मैंने फिर पॉलिटिक्स छोड़ दिया। फिर मोदी जी के वहाँ से फ़ोन आया, आप यहीं ज्वाइन कीजिए। राहुल गांधी का खुद फ़ोन आया, लेकिन मैंने कहा कि अब कोई गलती होगी तो चाटा मार देना, लेकिन पॉलिटिक्स में अब मत बुलाना। मैंने बहुत नज़दीक से उसको देख लिया है। लेकिन वो डिज़ायर तो नहीं मरी थी कि मुझे देश बदलना है। और ये समझ में आ रहा था कि अगर 65% भारत गांव में रहता है और अगर गांव में ऐसी गरीबी, इतनी तकलीफ़ है, तो अगर गांव को बदले बिना ये देश बदलने नहीं वाला है। तो मैंने सोचा कि चलो मैं जाके ऐसी जगह काम करूं जो वर्स्ट एरिया हो। तो महाराष्ट्र में एक मराठवाड़ा करके रीजन है, वहाँ पे सबसे ज़्यादा फार्मर सुसाइड्स होते थे। उसका वर्स्ट डिस्ट्रिक्ट था वो बीड़ करके था, आपने नाम सब सुना होगा। क्या है ये? नहीं, मैं पॉलिटिकल बात नहीं करूँगा, खाली बैकग्राउंड बता रहा था। पॉलिटिक्स में छोड़ चुका हूँ, यहाँ से भी छोड़ चुका हूँ। एक जर्नी होती है ना, थोड़ा जर्नी के बारे में बता दिया। डोंट वरी, मैं पॉलिटिक्स की बात नहीं करूँगा, अब करने लायक भी नहीं है। तो मुझे लगा कि वर्स्ट एरिया जो है वहाँ पे अगर मैं जाके बदलाव कर सकता हूँ तो वो मॉडल मैं पूरे देश में कर सकता हूँ। तो मराठवाड़ा, फिर बीड़, वहाँ पे परली तालुका था, इंडिया का इरिगेटेड एवरेज 40% था, तो वहाँ का 1.72% था। वहाँ गया, मैंने देखा जितनी गरीबी, जितने सुसाइड्स। और टिपिकली मैं करता था क्या कि जहाँ पे सुसाइड हुआ है उनके घर पे जाके बैठता था 3 घंटा, 4 घंटा, 5 घंटा। और वो साइलेंस में जितना मैं सीखा शायद कोई भी बुक पढ़ के या कुछ भी किसका सुन के मैं नहीं सीख सकता था। आई अंडरस्टूड व्हाट द रियल प्रॉब्लम इज़। और मुझे लगा कि वहाँ पे जाके क्या कुछ मैं कर सकता हूँ, कि जीवन बदल सकता हूँ, मॉडल बना सकता हूँ, प्रूफ ऑफ कंसेप्ट कर सकता हूँ। और मुझे दूसरा ये भी समझ में आ रहा था कि एक कैंपेन, प्रोजेक्ट, प्लान, ये सब कुछ करते हैं तो खुद के लिए करते हैं। सिर्फ आंदोलन में शक्ति है कि यू गो बियॉन्ड मनी मेकिंग, बियॉन्ड हेडोनिज्म टू वर्क फॉर अदर्स। और अभी तक जितने भी आंदोलन हुए थे, फिर वो गांधी जी का हो, इमरजेंसी के विरुद्ध हो, मंदिर मंडल या लेटेस्ट अन्ना मूवमेंट, ये सब मुझे लगा डीपली थॉट नहीं है। इट वॉज लाइक वॉन्टिंग टू ब्रेक अ बिल्डिंग विदाउट हैविंग अ ब्लूप्रिंट टू मेक अ न्यू वन। तो मुझे लगा वहाँ जाके मैं नॉन कन्फ्रंटेशनल प्रो डेवलपमेंट मूवमेंट फार्मर के साथ करूँ। और इम्पॉर्टेंट बात यह थी कि मैंने कभी गांव नहीं देखा था मेरी लाइफ में। मैं एक अर्बन आदमी था, अंग्रेज था, और मुझे वहाँ की लैंग्वेज नहीं आती थी, मराठी। एक लगान पिक्चर में गांव देखा, उसके बाद कहीं गांव नहीं देखा था। तो मैं चले गया वहाँ पे, वहाँ की सिचुएशन देखी। 3,500 रुपया पर मंथ की इनकम थी किसान फैमिली की। कोई युवाओं ने दूध नहीं चखा था। 8 साल में 6 साल सूखा पड़ा था और इतना डिप्रेशन था, इट वॉज एज इफ दे वर लिविंग बिकॉज दे वर नॉट डेड। तो मैंने तो ऐसा कभी देखा नहीं था। तो वहाँ जाके मैंने देखा कि ये अगर है, और अगर ऊपर वाले ने 84 लाख जन्म के बाद ये शरीर दिया है, तो आई कैन नॉट वेस्ट अ मोमेंट। मैंने अपना मुंबई का घर बेच दिया और वहाँ गांव में रहने लगा। और अंग्रेज था तो मुझे लगा अरे मैं तो बहुत होशियार हूँ, वहाँ पे जाके ऐसा ऐसा थोड़ा फाइन ट्यूनिंग करूँगा और गांव बदल जाएंगे। तो वो पहले ही समझ में आ गया गांव में जाके कि इंडिया अलग है, भारत अलग है। उसको समझने की ज़रूरत है। इट टुक मी 3 years। लेकिन इतना कुछ होते हुए भी जो मैं मूवमेंट बनाना चाहता वो मूवमेंट बन नहीं रही थी। तो मुझे याद है मैं वहाँ 2015 में ये पॉलिटिक्स छोड़ के वहाँ चले गया। 17 तक मैं समझ ही नहीं पा रहा कि मैं मूवमेंट कैसे बनाऊँ। तब एक वाक़या हुआ विच आई थॉट आई विल शेयर विथ यू कि 2017 में एक छोटा सा गांव था, वहाँ पे मैं कुछ टूटी फूटी मराठी में बोल रहा था। वो टिपिकली मीटिंग होती है ना मंदिर के प्रमाइस में, और कोई मेरे ऊपर बोल रहा था, और तो मैं इरिटेट हो गया। मैंने बोला एटलीस्ट दारू पी के मंदिर में तो मत आया कीजिए। उस मीटिंग के बाद लगा मुझे बोलने की ज़रूरत नहीं थी। वो किसका चाचा होगा, किसका भाई होगा, उसको पब्लिकली ह्यूमिलेट करना ये मेरे से ठीक नहीं हुआ। लेकिन वो सरपंच बहुत अफेक्ट हो गया, और उसने जाके वो जहाँ दारू बिक रहा था वो बनाते ज़मीन के अंदर, तो उसको जाके बोला कि मयंक भाई उस समय 500 किलोमीटर दूर से आए हैं, 7 लड़के युवा सिरोसिस ऑफ लिवर से मर गए हैं। सॉरी, टाइम का प्रॉब्लम है, 2 ही मिनट बाकी है। ओके, आई विल फिनिश क्विकली। तो हो गया, दारू बंद हो गया। उसके बाद पानी का काम किया। 45 डेज़ में हम लोग ने 70 किलोमीटर नदी, 162 तालाब, 62 चेक डैम्स, 5 बड़े डैम, 222 करोड़ लीटर पानी इकट्ठा करवाया, कम्युनिटी ड्रिवन। उसके बाद हम लोग ने सोचा कि ये पानी से तो कुछ होगा नहीं, इनकम बढ़ाना बहुत ज़रूरी है। और फिर हम क्रॉपिंग पैटर्न चेंज करवा के हमने उनके साथ काम करना शुरू किया। और आज के दिन पे इन द लास्ट 5 ईयर्स हम लोग 4700 गांव में काम कर रहे हैं। हमने 5.75 करोड़ फल के पेड़ लगाए हैं। और अभी टाटा इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ सोशल साइंस ने रिपोर्ट दिया है, थर्ड पार्टी इम्पैक्ट असेसमेंट, कि जो किसान ऑन एन एवरेज 38,000 रुपया कमा रहे हैं, वो 1.5 साल के बाद वो 393,000, 10 गुना से ज़्यादा इनकम उनकी हो गई है।
ये मराठवाड़ा के परली तालुका के सुख
बंद उसको बंद करो। तो अब उसको रेप्लिकेट करना है। हम लोग सिर्फ 4,700 गांव में हैं। इंडिया में 6,64,000 गांव है। यानी भीम और दुर्योधन फाइट करते थे 15 दिन तक, शायद आज तक फाइट करते होते। तब कृष्ण ने वो स्पॉट दिखाया कि इस स्पॉट पे मारोगे तो जीतोगे। तो मैं भी सोच रहा था कि इस भारत को बदलना है तो वो स्पॉट कौन सा है। एजुकेशन, हेल्थ केयर, ये सब स्टेटस को जो जरूर मेंटेन करेगा पर ट्रांसफॉर्म नहीं कर सकता है। देयर इज़ ओनली वन एंड ओनली वन मेथड टू ट्रांसफॉर्म दिस कंट्री, दैट सस्टेनेबल एग्रीकल्चर एट स्केल। तो हमें ये एक सक्सेस मिला है। अभी वहाँ पे हमने एक वर्ल्ड क्लास फार्मर ट्रेनिंग सेंटर बनाया है, और अभी 4 पॉइंट का एजेंडा है जिससे हम इस देश को बदलना चाहिए। ये कह के मैं बंद करूँगा। GVT 1.0 जो हम है कि जो वर्स्ट एरिया है वहाँ पे जाके पानी पे काम करते हैं, इनकम बढ़ाते हैं। 2.0 पे ट्रेनिंग सेंटर सारे स्टेट में करेंगे। 3.0 है, उसको 1 मिनट का एलोब्रेशन करूँगा कि हमारे यहाँ 1 स्क्वायर मीटर पे 5 किलो टमाटर होते हैं, नेदरलैंड में 80 किलो हो रहे हैं। हमारा पर एकड़ यील्ड है वो 25% ऑफ ग्लोबल एवरेज है, और हमारा सेकंड लार्जेस्ट एग्रीकल्चर प्रोड्यूसर है, लेकिन 1% भी एक्सपोर्ट नहीं करते हैं। तो इसके ऊपर हमने वर्क करना चालू किया। और GVT 4.0 जो है वो हम पॉलिसी इंटरवेंशन करते हैं, सरकार के साथ काम करते हैं। अभी मनरेगा के ऊपर काम कर रहे हैं, उसकी कमियां निकाल रहे हैं, और भी बहुत सारे लॉज के ऊपर काम करते हैं। तो हम सोचते हैं कि इस देश को बदलना है तो ये मार्ग ठीक है, और उसके ऊपर हम काम कर रहे हैं। चलिए, भारत माता की। I had 20 minutes of talk, no?
Sir, actually, sir, we were running behind on Yes, thank you, sir. आपका काम, it is so impressive. I've actually read about his organization and the kind of impact they are making. I'm glad you would be moderating the next panel on agriculture. I'd call Ashish now to felicitate our guests, please. We were also going to have Dr. Shrikanta Panigrahi with us, but he couldn't join us on time. Hopefully, he would be joining us later in the day. But we would be concluding this inaugural session now. Yes.
Yeah. So, would request Dr.
मराठवाड़ा के
Aishwarya
परली
Mahajan to
तालुका के
please
सूखाग्रस्त गांवों की शपथ।
present Colonel Akash Patil. Sonal. Photo. हाँ, हाँ.
कोई बात नहीं यार, टेक योर टाइम।
So Dr. Mahajan to Dr. Kala Sen.
Ashish, please. Yes. This is Ashish, our founder, welcoming Dr. Mahajan. We cannot thank M3M Foundation enough for their support and guidance and mentorship. It's Sir, please. We would now be breaking out for panel discussions. We have waste management in the Samrasta hall, and we would have sustainable farming panel discussion in this hall.
So the entire day, for your clarity, is divided into the panel discussions are in two halls. The first one is this hall will have the panel discussion on sustainable farming. Mr. Mayank Gandhi is going to host that session. And we have waste management and circular economy that is in Samrasta hall. So it's just right after you exit this gate. We also have in Samrasta hall an ESG beyond compliance panel strategic dialogue. And after lunch, we have community-led climate solutions panel discussion in that.
In Samrasta.
Yeah, in Samrasta. This hall will continue to have strategic dialogue after this session on sustainable mobility, wherein we have Mr. Anshu Diwan and Mr. Vijay Jaiswal. And after that, we have biodiversity conversation followed by a youth panel wherein students from different colleges are coming and expressing their thoughts on climate and environment. So over to you, Shweta.
Yes.
So I would request those delegates who would like to participate in waste management and circular economy panel to please proceed to Samrasta Hall. Thank you.